All right. Hello, 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 everyone. How has your day been? I have just gotten off work like a half an hour and scrambled to eat some dinner and get everything ready. But I'm excited to cast the beginning of a new season for this league. We're going to be following Refrigerators this time, which a couple of the same members from 404 Brain Not Found and Void Shifter and Synexus. Uh, and yeah, there were some changes up throughout the season. They didn't want to put me in. Uh, and they're
Hmm.
against the team with probably the best name I've ever heard in my life of Country Meat. As usual, I am joined by the beautiful Sai himself. How have you been, Sai, other than your frosty pop?
Pretty good. Got a two tests tomorrow, and this is a welcome distraction. So,
Hey.
oh,
All right.
and
As
it looks
we're
like the draft's starting.
Yeah, starting off on draft. This is preseason, so we do have new jungle items, new items in general, and to no one's surprise, we will see a Darius ban. I know that champion's supposed to be pretty busted, and I also believe 324 Beetle has been kind of spamming it. So, and Void Shifter's Swain taken away. Now,
Isn't the new mage item super broken? What's that item called?
well, I don't think it's new. It's just the return of Rod of Ages.
Rod of Ages, yeah. It's it's returned, but it's new for me. I
Oh
stopped
yeah,
playing
because
after it was removed.
you're a boomer. That's right. Or no, you're a zoomer, not a boomer. Renekton banned
You're the
away.
boomer here.
Dude, I'm the boomer and I started in season 8. What the fuck is this?
Imagine
uh,
starting the single digits. Couldn't be me.
God, imagine starting League fucking half the time I did and being twice as good as me. Couldn't imagine. Uh, while we're like waiting for drafts and stuff, I do want to congratulate you. I know you hit a plat 2, right?
Yeah, I hit plat too. Although, never again because new jungle is not my thing. And
See,
Zach's the worst he's ever been.
RIP, the one trick is dead.
Oh yeah, it's rough. I've been winning more with Sedge than Zach now, which is just tragic, knowing how notoriously garbage Sejuani is in ranked.
Plus, like, the fall from your, like, insane Zach one, right?
I know. There's just no tank items good on him. Well,
Yes.
to be fair, no tank items are good on tanks anymore. He's getting like big buffs or reasonable buffs next patch at least to his HP ratios.
Okay. We'll have to see what that does. But yeah, do have draft firing off a little bit here. Blitzcrank and Vi the last bands, and a couple ADCs picked up. Jin and Caitlyn. So looks like we're going to a lot more of the rangy ADCs as opposed to what we were seeing near the end
Ooh.
of the old season. And Lux to follow it up. I love Caitlyn Lux as a bot lane.
So it's really oppressive, but if you have a good jungler or support that can get onto the backline, it can be really easy to kill them once you lock them down.
Yeah, and we'll have to see. Jin typically likes the range champions as well, so we might even just
Hmm.
see like a handshake. We might see like the Morgana here. We'll have to go ahead and see what gets picked up here. We see the Bard, actually.
Oh,
This is just one of the most fun champions to watch, I feel like. You
no,
never
I
know what a
know Bard
Bard's going to do.
Heartsteel's been good,
Ooh.
so I wonder if he'll run that one.
I have no idea what Bard build. I feel like every Bard I see builds different items. Like, I remember there was a meta where it was like Night Harvester Rapid Fire Cannon. Like, you can just literally build anything on this guy. And
Bard is
Elise.
something else.
Oh no, they
Oh,
flop over to the
oh,
Sejuani. So, Theater Thug did promise me that he's gonna Heart Steel Rush Sejuani. So we'll have to see if he
yes.
delivers.
So just like even our E is based on auto
Now,
proc, so it's really nice.
I don't know if Big Pig P3 plays it. This is a Smurf Trundle angle. Ravenous Hydra into Divine Sunder just looks so good into Sejuani.
Shyvana.
Shiv, though. I have played a little bit of Shiv this season. She hasn't felt the best. New Frostfire I feel is a lot worse than old Frostfire on her. But we'll have to see how this works out. It could even be an AP Shiv, though. We'll have to see kind of what they end up taking when we get to see runes.
I don't know what Shiv's been running, but I do know Shiv's been considered quite the good champion right now.
Okay. Syndra banned away from Void Shifter. I know he's been pretty big on that. I know she's supposed to be one of the best mid laners, followed by a Mordekaiser ban.
Mordekaiser's been really good both top and jungle right now.
Yeah,
Even I've been able to dumpster top lane with him.
I hit M6 a couple days ago. I'm playing
Mm,
him jungle, and I'm like, this is dumb.
yeah.
What will the rest of the bans be as we see stop doing that, leave the lobby? An Orianna ban. So they're leaving up the Malzahar for Void Shifter. I wonder if that means they have an answer to it or if they're looking to take it away here. Kind of
A lot of these range support mages with Syndra and Ori both having so much CC, they're just really forcing him off of it.
And the Vex ban as well, so definitely kind of forcing away the safer mid lane picks, I feel like.
Surprised we didn't see more top lane bans, honestly. I feel like it's been very oppressive recently.
Yeah,
But
I know
maybe Mid's just that much stronger.
both top laners have kind of small... Ooh. Now, this is... I'm going to talk about this champion for a while because I've been playing him a lot. I think Wukong is by far the most broken champion in the game right now. And I don't think it's close. So we'll get to see a Wukong versus Alawi matchup. So it'll be fun to see that. And it's the Victor actually. Does not even go towards the Malzahar for Senior Void Rifter. And the Zoe has the answer. So interested to see how these games are going to play out. They have... I feel like Shiv has to go like the tank build this game because they really do need a front line on the side of Country Meat.
Although, on the other hand, Zoe, Caitlyn, Lux, AP, Shiv, the amount of poke you have to just shoot them from a distance and then Wukong to go in once they're low, that might not be the worst option I've ever seen.
That's true. You definitely could just play a poke style comp. The only worry is not really having anyone to stand in front while you do that poke.
Yeah.
So.
The other concern here is which one of them can 1v1 Nalawi?
Yeah, I definitely don't think they're looking to play the 1v1. They'll probably have like Wukong or Caitlyn try to just like clear the waves if I had to guess from Malawi. But they're really all in on like getting to objectives and setting up so that way they make Fridge Raiders walk into them.
Oh yeah. I'm hoping that Fridge plays this slow and allows the Alawi to put down as much pressure as possible. With Victor stun and Sejuani ult and Bard tunnel, you have quite a bit of disengage. So as long as they don't get just poked out and they sidestep some skill shots and let Alawi do her thing, I think they have a pretty good shot at winning this one.
Now, Wukong can't match Alawi, but I know you were saying you've been playing a little bit more top lately. The Wukong Alawi matchup, how like early game, does Alawi still just bully him out, or how does it go early game?
Well, Alawi will bully him out if Alawi lands E, and if she doesn't land it consistently, if Wukong rushes Ravenous, he might be able to out sustain the Alawi if she doesn't just insta burst him.
Okay.
That would be the only concern. So really, it's Alawi either lands E or loses, I think, here, because Wukong's just so powerful right now.
Yeah, there's also a lot of play on the Wukong side, I feel like, because you can always dodge it with your W clone. So I'm curious to see. I think this top lane's actually going to be really fun to watch. Jungle-wise, I really want to see this Sedge get ahead early. I think pre-6 she needs to be making plays, so that way Shyvana doesn't just get to farm for free.
Yeah, I think Sedge needs to put some pressure on this top lane matchup pre-6 and get that lead going. Because once Alawi or Wukong have a lead, it's going to be really hard to stop it. And Sejuani walking into Lux with her roots and Caitlyn with her traps, it's going to be a very difficult gank to pull off. Unless Bard lands some very clutch stuns.
Yeah, it's not the easiest lanes to gank except for top lane, I feel like, so I think I agree.
Yeah, top's going to be probably the main focus of this game until laning phase is over.
Mid lane, I feel like it's kind of on Zoe to be a little more proactive. Victor's just kind of the best scaling mid laner in the game, I feel like. And Zoe just... I don't want to say she falls off, because like she'll still do burst damage. But I feel like she's not as impactful as the game goes on as a Victor would be.
I think that might be true for country meet across the board. I think they're going to need, like, as the game goes on, they're going to need more and more burst power, and it's going to be about catching one person rather than taking the 5v5, because I think with the Sejuani and Victor and Bard, the 4v4 for whoever has to answer the Alawi, I think they're going to be much stronger in the 4v4, and that'll be a big part of it and as the game goes on.
Now, speaking of like the setup for the poke, I think that's where we really need to look at this bot lane. Caitlyn Lux is notoriously a good bot lane, but they are also a bot lane that has to get ahead. You don't want to be even as Caitlyn Lux going into the mid game. Jhin Bard will just do so much more than you. You really got to press your lead and be able to, push, get these turret plates, get your gold where you can, and pressure this bot lane, I feel like.
Yeah. And Shyvana, with her clear speed, she should be able to put some pressure bot and still get away with it without falling too far behind, because clearing is so important right now in the meta.
Yeah, so we might actually even see the junglers, look on opposite sides of the map then.
I would like to see that. As Shyvana early, I don't know that I'd be confident in winning a 2v2 against Sedge Alawi, just because Sedge is very good damage and dual power early game, and if Alawi lands a few tentacles, you're done. And she hits both of you, she just heals. It's a very not fun place to be. So helping against that Jhin Bard, when a champ like Jhin has very low survivability, that's a pretty good opportunity when Shyvana can look for it.
Yeah, and especially, I know you were mentioning it, like, especially post 6, if I'm Shyvana, I don't want to be anywhere near that top lane. Alawi is known for 2v1ing when she has that ultimate.
That ultimate is way too powerful for, especially something like a Shyvana. She's just not going to be that good until 6. And then post 6, she's still worse than Alawi. So really, she's going to have a hard time up there at all times. But she might try to pad that way just to stop Wukong from falling behind, because if he does, that'll be really hard for her.
Yeah, it's going to be... There's going to be a lot on Shyvana, I feel like, this game for making sure she can get lanes ahead, but while also stopping Wukong from bleeding too much.
Yeah.
Now, composition-wise overall, I know we've talked about it a little bit, but I think, just to kind of reiterate, Fridge Raiders really looking to play for that 4v4 while Alawi split pushes, and Country Meat just really looking to set up on objectives and get to play that poke game with how much range they have over Fridge Raiders. Now, while we do have a little bit before we get into game, I wanted to go ahead and go over a couple hot takes that I had Sai and I come up with. Mine, I think it's... I don't think it's as spicy if you actually keep up on like the meta, but I know I've heard a lot of people say otherwise. I think Heartsteel is an extremely overrated item. Like, what's your thoughts on that, Sai?
I think Heartsteel is overrated for what it was meant for, and I would never say it's underrated, but I think it's not overrated on champs like Diana. But people that are like, oh, it's so good for Sion because he scales on health, it's not. It's just not, because that extra bit of health is not enough to justify what else you could be having. When something like last season's Sunfire Ages, that would just do damage constantly. Having that extra couple hundred health, trading that for consistent damage in a team fight is just not worth it. It's so much weaker than tank items used to be. It's terrible for tanks, not great for bruisers. It's really good on the champs that can just spam autos. And Riot didn't have the forethought to think Diana might exist.
Yeah, name a more iconic duo, Diana and breaking tank items.
Oh yeah.
So while we're getting into Summoner's Rift here, I want to make sure we're at the right time. 27, 28,
6,
29,
27, 28.
Okay,
So
I'm
you're like
gonna
2
pause.
seconds ahead.
I'm at 32 right now. Let me know when you're here.
32, 33,
33.
34.
Boom, we did it. We're good at
Yeah.
math.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Alright, let's get that time
Oh.
control down. And ooh, we see a
Maybe
little... Is this gonna be like a late invade?
It might be. They saw Lowy top too, so they might be not expecting
Yeah,
it.
here they go. Oh!
Oh, they
A
screwed up the
big-
flash Q.
I gotta remember to zoom out a little. Whoa, that ain't what I want. There we go. Get a little zoom out so we can see everything.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, that was...
The new war timers coming in clutch.
I love them. I wish they didn't show on Spectator.
Like, I don't absolutely hate it, but I also, it's just like why?
Yeah.
You know?
Mm. While we're in the bit of the early game, I definitely want to take a moment with preseason to look at runes and items that we have. I think runes, pretty normal. We do see 0 TPs to 2 TPs on Fridge Raiders. So I'm a little worried about them being able to answer the Alawi and also make it to team fights in this comp with 0 TPs for country meet.
I'm surprised to see the Wukong not take TP and take Ignite. He's that being said, though, I think Wukong is banking on getting ahead early.
Yeah, I
Because if he doesn't have a lead, they just have a 0 front line. But if Wukong can get going, he'll be a good front line, like when he's ahead.
Yeah, Wukong has to dumpster this lane, I feel like, with taking Ignite. Zoe can kind of get away with it even without, like, running the lane over, but Wukong really has to get ahead now. Notably, we do see Shyvana take PTA and go... I still don't know these names yet. Moss Stomper Seedling. So I think this is going to be a tank Shyvana, which I do like a lot for giving them that front line when Wukong's not there.
Agreed.
But when we do see Sedge looking for an early gank here, the flash exhaust by Bard into the root by Jhin. Sejuani comes through with the CC, and that is a Deadluxe first blood onto Theater Thug. We talked about wanting to see early game aggression from the Sejuani, and that's exactly it. A full red side clear into a bot lane gank. Easy kill when you knew that Lux didn't have flash from that invade.
Oh yeah, and Sejuani right now with gold early is quite a big deal. Rushing Heartsteel is quite good on her. She's always scaled well with health, and it's just so easy to proc on her. You don't even have to think about it compared to a lot of other champions.
Now, we do also see Zoe take Electrocute as we see a root land. We're going to see a little bit of damage come down to Caitlyn. Bard is a little low, and the pig might
Shyvana
get
goes
caught out on
down.
the... Oh. Yeah, that is super unfortunate to get caught in there on that invade. You don't have a lot of healing in the jungler anymore. That is the one thing
And you
about
just
the new item.
can't invade.
Yeah.
Because you do 20% less damage to enemy camps.
Yeah.
Like you can't invade anymore. That was a very big mistake on Shyvana's part.
I agree. I think you either have to be extremely ahead, or you have to know the jungler's gonna be gone for a while. But we see the flash from Jhin, not able to get the kill onto Caitlyn. A good exhaust by Lux. Yeah, in order to invade, you really have to know the jungler won't be there because you do less damage. And Caitlyn just got shot. I don't really know what to say about that one.
Right. That was just a good shot from Jhin.
Yeah.
But yeah, invades right now, they need to be on the other side of the map, and you need to not have any camps up.
Oh no.
Oh, but we have a dive going on.
This Sejuani is running this map. She's 2-0. She's about to get a third kill on
There
her.
she goes.
And name a more iconic duo than 404 Brain Not Found, now Fridge Raiders, and their jungler just getting a lead early game. We are seeing Theater Thug. He's going to be a very thick Sejuani this game.
Oh yeah, and honestly, I think a very underrated item right now is the Gargoyle Stoneplate. So is when you, at least when you're running Heartsteel, just because you feel like you're lacking so much resistance, and then getting all that resistance added on top of that, the massive shield from all that bonus health. I'm hoping to see that as an earlier item on Sejuani, or at least an item at some point, because it's so powerful with all your health.
Lux a bit overstepped there, just eats too much CC and goes down again, and this is really what we're seeing from that early invade, getting that flash. Sejuani getting that kill early is a really big snowball and a 2,000 gold lead now for Fridge Raiders.
And notably here, Sejuani is rushing the non-mythic Sunfire Aegis.
Yeah, that's really interesting. We do see Void Shifter go down there.
Oh.
But Sejuani flashed, and this is going to be a dead Zoe.
There we go.
Theater Thug is on a rampage.
Sunfire Aegis doesn't give MR anymore, but it still gives quite a bit of damage. So quite a number of tanks have still been rushing it just for that AoE.
Yeah, I think Bommies is still a really good item. It's something I haven't gotten to play a ton of, as we see the root land onto Caitlyn here. Ooh, and a root land back onto Jhin.
Sejuani's here again.
Yeah, Caitlyn just has to flash. Sedge does not have 6 yet. We flip over to top lane, see some scrapping, as Caitlyn is going to get out. The root's going to land to get a little bit of damage off. And in the end, no one's going to go down. If Sejuani had 6 there, though, that was a dead to rights Caitlyn.
Oh yeah. She just didn't hit the second proc of the Q, and without that slow, she couldn't keep up. Or W, sorry.
I know we were talking about Shiv's item, or Sejuani's items for a minute. It does look like Shyvana is going to go Crossfire this game. Or, not Diana, Shyvana. That's the choose.
Oh yeah, Frostfire. Forgot Frostfire builds out of Sheen now, because I was thinking Trinity at first for a second.
You see the Hex
But yeah.
Dragon come over. So, as like we continue to see this game go on, where do you want to see both teams start to focus a little bit more now? Oh, hold on, we might get a fight bot lane. That is a very dead
Lux. Right now, really, from Country Meat, they just need to slow it down. They're playing aggressive. They're pushing out their lane, especially bot lane, too much with trying to get their pokes and get their catch. When they just need to slow it down and stop pushing out so far, because they are so far behind, it's unbelievable. They need to let the Shyvana farm. They need to probably put some more resources into top lane if they can bait out the ultimate from that Illaoi, because right now bot lane is in not a good spot to be, and if they continue to be in this state, they're just gonna lose from falling too far behind. They need a win con, and I don't think that can be bot lane looking at the Jhin stats.
Now, how do you feel about like, that Sejuani, this is a very dead Lux again. That was a
Lux.
beautiful ult from Theater Thug.
It was.
He's definitely popping off. He's known as a Vi 1 trick, but his Sejuani looking pretty clean here.
It's always the Vi 1 tricks.
Well, we do see Shyvana looking for Void Shifter here, but honestly taking more damage than Void Shifter did.
And without the healing, I don't know how Shyvana's clear handles that.
Oh, where's my Dunk Master allowance?
Once again, a dive.
Oh my god, this is just a slaughter. They're just killing them on every part of the map. They might be able to get Void Shifter here, but he's able to flash
Victor
away.
uses block.
It's gonna be a 10-minute tower.
After
for
it go
Illaoi.
down? Jeez.
Oh my god. Oh wait, the Bard actually shut off the tower! That was so clean by Synexis! So, to put into a little story, Synexis, he's pretty good at this game, and support is his main role. We did see him as, if I remember, he was the jungler for 404 last season. He has been challenger in the past. And we're really seeing like that game knowledge come off there on this Bard pick.
They're playing that lane exceptionally well. They're playing really well with the Sejuani, knowing she has that lead, knowing she can tank their towers. They're really aggressively setting up dives. And Sejuani, knowing her lead, she ended up building Swifties to just get around the map as fast as possible.
And she has that Sunfire already. She's actually going to do a ton of damage. Wukong needs to be careful here, though. He's really behind.
What do you think the route back into this game for the country meets is?
Yeah, so before we got into some of the disgusting dives that we've seen, as we might be seeing another one here.
Oh
Hold
no.
the phone. The root does not land, but the Jin ult's going to do a bunch of damage to Caitlyn. And the Victor should be able to clean this up here, as he does get that kill. And we're seeing a potential dive onto Wukong. They're not going to give
They're
us
diving the tower.
Yeah, they're breaking the tower. Wukong has to ult away, but the
Big
Sejuani ult
Sejuani
stops
ults.
him. Theater Thug is godlike. 7-0-1 on Sejuani.
He's getting all the kills though. But if he continues to push his lead like he is, I don't mind.
Where's his Dark Seal? Wouldn't you build Dark Seal on Sejuani? Isn't that something you did, I remember?
Yeah, I've done that on occasion when I have a good lead because she has enough AP scaling that like AP Sedge is actually viable.
The Shyvana's moving here, but I don't think she has the
Shyvana
damage
gets the
to get a
shutdown?
kill. Zoe flashing might be able to take down Void Shifter here, and it's actually a 1-for-1.
And somehow Jin and Bard both survive even though they have nothing left.
So I was actually kind of hoping Shiv would get a kill there, because that was going to lead into my point. I think this Shyvana is actually like the way you get back into this game. Shyvana is 30 CS up on Sejuani. That obviously doesn't make up for 7 kills, but that is, you know, something to play around as, well, we might get to see now. Sejuani does not go 100% in. But, yeah, I think
Is she gonna go in?
she might. She's looking. She's feeling a little frothy. She has her bot lane backing her up.
Jin's almost
and,
back.
A good flash by Caitlyn to get out there. The smite comes down, and the root will make sure they get out alive there. But yeah, I personally think Shyvana or Zoe are the way you get back into this game from country. Zoe is the least behind on your team. Sejuani is, or it's not Sejuani. Shyvana is. She's definitely not ahead. She's definitely behind, but she has a CS lead, which is something.
Yeah, they're as close to in the game as it gets.
Yeah, exactly. Like if we were to take a look at the gold difference, she's down about 2k gold herself. Zoe's actually the closest at about 200 gold down only. To where everyone else is about 2,000 gold.
Right now, it's a 5k gold difference at 13 minutes in the favor of Fridge. So that is...
Oh no. The Sejuani ult and Bard ult comes through. Caitlyn gets blown up. Wukong comes down there. Actually,
Theater
getting some
lives.
damage off, but he is able to get away. The Jin ult's now coming through. Oh, but Zoe lands a Drowsy, and she just shuts down Jin. The Zoe does a lot of damage, and so does Alawi.
Zoe actually has a gold lead on Victor now, though.
Alright, so as I was saying, we play around Zoe. Yeah,
Is this a best of 3?
this is a BO3.
Yeah.
There's always other games to think about, but
Exactly.
no, we don't want to see Zach anymore. We talked about that.
Oh, I know. It's so sad.
This poor Zoe.
Does Zoe live?
Oh. I didn't understand what happened there, but I forgot Zoe's ult. No matter where you go, you have to return.
I wasn't sure how that interaction worked, but now I know.
Oh, Shyvana's gonna take the Bard portal, but just get stunned up. You have to walk around the Victor, so everyone will be fine. We're only 15 minutes into this game, and it's 18-3 with a 7,000 gold lead.
Is Sejuani building a Warmogs right now?
I think both of those go into Heartsteel now, right?
Does Heartsteel? Oh, yeah, I think you're right. I think it does take that arm guard item.
Yeah. So I would guess it's the famous Heartsteel.
I would hope so. Some of these new items, I don't know what builds into them yet.
I know we
Don't
were
see it
talking about
enough.
what Bard would build, but it looks like he just went Locket this game. So he says,
Doing
you
the
know
typical
what?
thing.
The team's ahead enough, and I'm just gonna help support it.
Exactly. The true support being 1-0 and 10.
No, the true support would be 0, 0, and 11.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
well,
gotta give him some glory.
he might get another assist here. Um,
Did Alawi just waste her ult there? She did.
you know. she
Are
has
they
to
gonna
make sure
catch
she-
Shyvana too?
I think everyone's
Oh.
dying to Alawi here. She said
What
it's
is that?
time to jam.
8k, nearly 9k gold lead now. That's unfathomable at this point in the game.
They just dove a tier 2 tower. Like,
They are as rich as Markiplier now.
it's a good reference. I like that. Good job. I'm proud of you. Oh, will the Bard die? The perfect score stays alive! And Theater Thug picks up his 8th kill.
The Bard is immune to death with his 32 HP. He had 32 hit points here. That is astounding.
Now, the other... I'm not going to say this game is winnable for Country Meat, but if you were to try to win, I would recommend fighting on the opposite side of the map. Wherever refrigerators are, I would not be there.
If they can manage to claim like 4 towers of objective bounties, they might have a chance at coming back from this
So
10k gold
I'm gonna
deficit.
ask you the question right now. Refrigerators are looking at this Rift Herald. Do they end the game with this Rift Herald?
If I
Really
don't
get
see a
shut down.
dancing Harry this game, then I think in my heart Fridge is lost.
Okay, okay. So, stopping the Rift Herald is the win con for Country Meat. You heard it here first.
They're gonna pop it mid and try to run it all the way to the base from there.
Oh, this is,
Oh,
Oh, the Sejuani ult misses, but I feel like Lux is still dead.
just overkill. They didn't even need it to begin with.
Oh my god, the beautiful stun by Bard. The Nexus is just crushing in this game. Shyvana's gonna come in to try to play reinforcements, but she's gonna take a lot of damage. Victor might pick up the kill onto Caitlyn and does. And they just... This is just disrespect.
Surprised they haven't used Herald more aggressively. With how much of a lead I think they really could end with this Herald.
I think they might look
But they're
to
playing
after
it
this
safe.
dragon.
Yeah, they're playing it really safe, getting all the towers, not just trying to end through a side lane.
Notably, it was Heartsteel on the Sedge, and Alawi now has a Hull Breaker, so she has one goal in mind. Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god, I just looked at... Oh,
Blue team
Spoilers?
did that just happen to you too?
Yeah, I think it's a spoiler.
Huh.
Don't tell the audience. Don't tell the audience. They don't
Cut
need
the
to know.
tape! Cut the tape! We're gonna see Jin open it up here. I'm gonna take
Oh,
it.
that Zoe Q still does like 60% of Bard's health.
Yeah, Zoe
Like
is the fed one.
Zoe's still powerful.
Oh, Alawi has the Rift Herald in top lane though.
Not powerful enough apparently. Come on, dancing Harry. I need to see it.
Caitlyn takes the blast cone into Victor's arms! What is she doing?
She's yelling, "Hey, look at distraction!" and hope her team doesn't help the Alawi. Zoe
Wait.
just wants a kill. Does Zoe get the Bard?
Alawi
The
might
Bard
actually just
still
end the
can't
game.
die.
red team's turret has been destroyed.
I'm gonna try to
Shyvana's
fix
not
the
gonna get to
FPS
back.
From, that really weird. Yeah, Shyvana's so low that this really might just be the end of the game. They're down to to half a tower.
Wow, he decided to take a break though. Gonna head back to base, spend
They're gonna
the
ping the Baron.
2k gold she's sitting on.
But as I was pointing out before, whatever happened, Alawi's almost 3 items. Wukong has not completed an item yet.
I've been in games where I am this Wukong and it feels as miserable as it looks to watch. Just no item, 20 minutes in. It's such a rough game sometimes.
And like you can't CS because you can't leave your base. Because they'll just kill you.
You could be sitting under your own like Nexus turrets, and it's not enough.
Oh, the double Bard ultimate. The Sejuani ult missed again. Not great timing on that, but you know.
It hit
sometimes
3 of
just
them with
doesn't
the
matter.
second cast.
And Malawi is gonna ult there. Sejuani running down this Zoe. She's trying to get away. Theater Thug is
Sejuani and
legendary.
Victor going to end the game.
11-0-6. Bard is chasing away, killing the jungler. 2-0-18 on the Bard. And the Nexus is going to fall here, but not before Void Shifter goes on a killing.
We gotta
spree.
pad the stats. Nearly a 15k gold lead.
So, this was a stomp, to put it lightly. I don't really know a nice way to phrase that. What does Country Meat do to come back in game 2? Because
They
again,
pull the meat out of the fridge.
they pull the meat out of the fridge.
It was freezing, and there's not much you can do. You gotta let it thaw for a moment, you know. Call it take 5, you know.
You know that might be the play. If your meat's frozen, unfreeze it, bounce back in game 2, and let's have.
Sejuani out damaged the Jhin that game.
Sejuani did so much damage, dude.
Jeez, she still somehow Victor did the most in the game. Then Alawi, then Sedge, then Jhin. That is. I did not think Sedge was doing that much damage, or that Jhin. I would have thought Jhin would have had the most damage in the game with the way that game started.
Yeah, no, it was Victor just does damage, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Poor Wukong, you triple his damage, and that's about how much damage Bard did.
He didn't get to have fun. We talked
He did
about.
3,000. Poor guy.
We're just gonna center that back up there. Man, that's such a weird glitch or bug, whatever you want to call it.
It's like, oh hey, the game's over, so we're gonna take you out of it, but you're still watching, but it's over, just so you know. See, I'm just waiting for that to happen, and we are like, oh, obviously, like Team A won, and then they get wiped, and Team B somehow wins. You know?
Oh, that's how they bait us.
Oh yeah, Riot coming in clutch, making sure a spectating moment is never dull.
We got the blue side Captain Link here. We're just waiting.
I can
for
be the captain.
Look at me. I am the captain now. Oh, and we got a spec Link. That's what I like to see. Go ahead and pop that over to Pro Draft. While we are waiting for draft to start, Sai, what's your hot take?
This is the worst, at least in my experience, but maybe I'm wrong because I'm still new to the game compared to some of you ancient folk. This is the worst thing they've ever done to the jungle or to the game entirely. Just make it as easy as possible and removing as much skill as they can from the role. It takes no skill to clear anymore. There's no staying healthy or unhealthy. It's just you're gonna be whatever health you are, even if you play it perfectly. Just terrible changes all around to the jungle, which helps newer players and might be better for the silver and gold elo, but any high elo and especially pro play, I am counting down the days to see the ramifications in pro play.
Yeah, we should get it sometime in January, I believe, is when we'll see pro start back up. But we are getting back into draft, and we see the Vi band away again. So after that Sejuani performance, I would be terrified to see this guy in his one trick. So.
I think if I was country me here, I would rather see the Vi than the Sedge at that point, because at least Vi might be killable. Sedge was just too tanky for you to play the game.
And it looks like we might continue. No, we actually swapped back over to the Darius ban. So, will we see the Sejuani ban here, or what will we see from Country Meat?
They could say we're just gonna go Trundle if we see that again and leave it up.
That's what I
I don't
think
think
they
it's a
should have done
terrible
last
idea.
game. But
Agreed. I was shocked to see the Shyvana pick, especially if Shiv is gonna build tank anyways. You could just build Trundle and mm, like first item, the most OP thing in the game with Ravenous Hydra.
yeah, I completely agree. That's what I would have liked. We actually see a Caitlyn ban from Fridge Raiders. They're scared of the 05 Caitlyn. You heard it here first, boys.
Yeah. To be fair, Caitlyn only had one death when Lux had four. The Caitlyn was surviving really well, and so they're probably like, let's just get him off that so we can kill him again next time, and it won't be so hard.
True.
Oh, Sedge goes bye-bye.
The Swain is left up and the Sejuani is gone. So we'll have to see what Fridge Raiders will go towards for Theater Thug this game. We know it will not be Nocturne, it looks like, as it might be the last ban for them. I have not played any Nocturne yet this season. Have you, or have you seen it? How is Nocturne?
I haven't even seen it in any of my games, but I do know he's been pretty good with the Ravenous Hydra right now.
What?
Like
Someone's
he's
good
been
with
solid.
Ravenous Hydra?
I know. It's like I honestly have been debating building Ravenous Hydra on Zac, you know? My Blob is an Akali one trick and he's been building Ravenous Hydra and winning.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend a couple days ago because they played an Akali and a Norm. And they're like, why is everyone just building AD on her now? And I'm like, Ravenous Hydra is broken.
Ravenous is just too good.
Yeah, we do see that Nocturne. It looks like it's getting first picked here, so we will have to see if it was worth the ban in game 1 from the big P3. Hydra procs on Nocturne Q is
Yeah.
what big P3 just said. Ooh.
Evelyn. I think Evelyn might be one of the best junglers in the game right now, honestly.
So I love
least
this
for solo
Jarvan
queue.
pick. I've played a lot of Jarvan lately, and I actually think he's really strong because guess what? You can build Ravenous Hydra and Jack Show on him. You can also go
Yeah.
Radiant Virtue though, which I found to be really good on him. So
Preseason items are a little overtuned, to say the least.
they're definitely interesting. I'm curious to see how they'll be once, some nerfs and stuff happen. As don't play with my heart, Fridge Raiders. I thought we were about to get a Singe lock in. But instead we get Sivir followed by Vex Tristana. I love the Tristana answer here into Sivir.
They're going Yordle teams.
Oh yes, my favorite Yordle. Nocturne.
Nocturne's a dream. He doesn't count. You know, he's not even real.
Nocturne's a dream. He doesn't count. We do see the Syndra picked up for Void Shifter this game. Not going to get it banned away. So, I'll be curious to see how it is. Syndra has a lot of hype on this patch ever since her...
Yeah, Syndra and Vex are both, like, OP tier right here.
Mm-hmm. And the Mordekaiser is taken away yet again. If you're on the side of Fridge Raiders, I feel like you just save counter pick and just, like, say you can't... Okay, they actually banned the Alawi. I was going to say you just threaten the Alawi pick again. But you can't do that when it's on the ban hammer.
Just pick his Wukong just to BM, you know?
The champion's pretty gross right now. Champion's real good. It did not look good that game, but trust me, it is.
Does anything look good into Alawi, you know? See, this is more so what I expected to see last time second phase bans. Is just a bunch of top laners. Although, it is because it's either top or support, and I would argue support's not as impactful as top right now.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yuumi is such an impactful champion.
Yuumi is getting nerfed next patch. She's been about as good as Yuumi always is. I was shocked to learn that Yuumi was like a 2019 champion. Like she's a new champion.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought she would have been like one of the original champs in the game. Because she's so simple. It's not hard to program her even. You know?
It's probably hard to program like a champion going on a champion.
Then you just merge their AIs and be like, this is now actually the same thing.
Yeah, but
you know?
Riot has potato code.
You know, one fun thing I love about Riot is Camille ult, how it keeps you in one area and you can't leave it. Their originally what they wanted to do was have her have Mordekaiser's ult, but at the time it was too hard to program Mordekaiser ult, so they ended up adding Mordekaiser ults onto just Mord instead of Camille because they developed him a few years later.
That's funny.
I think that's hilarious.
We, speaking of Riot Spaghetti Code, we have Vel'Koz locked in for Country Meat and Garen here. So, curious to see.
That is the answer?
Uh,
Aw.
Ging Planka. Teemo! Do it. No! Don't play with my heart! Damn
Ah.
you!
Who doesn't love a Teemo versus Garen gameplay? I want to
Refrigerators-
see that in the LCS.
Fridge Raiders is now my least favorite team. They hovered Singed and got me excited. They hovered Teemo and got me excited. 0 out of 10. Would not recommend Fridge Raiders.
What do you think about new mathematical set with Heartsteel?
I have not seen a set yet, so I'll be
If I
curious
want
to
your
see.
opinion, I'll beat it out
Especially
of
I've-
you.
I've,
what he goes.
I've seen memes of him with Heartsteel, and because his W scales on his max health and his true damage, he just one-shots entire teams once he gets like 3 items.
I could see it being pretty good, especially because he can proc it really
I
easily.
won't be.
Yeah. He's all autos. That's the entire champion,
Mhm.
you know? So it's
Yeah.
just, it's hilarious to witness. I don't know if it's actually good, but I know there's just memes across the world about it.
Mhm. Yeah, people do love their heart steal. So. Now, the Set Garen matchup, I feel like I like the Set side of it with that W. What do you think?
I think Garen was really good before the preseason, and I don't know how he's faring now, but I know Set's still pretty good, and Garen is just gonna have a really hard time dealing with Set because in trades Set's gonna win. So I'm hoping to see Garen just kind of play pretty beta, pretty far back, and just let Set do Set things for a while and play for the late game disruption.
Now, in the jungle, I feel like we literally just have a repeat of last game. I want to see 404, or not 404 now. I want to see Fridge Raiders jungler really play early game and try to get a lead on this Jarvan, while Nocturne has to farm till 6.
Yeah. Although farming to 6 is not nearly as hard anymore, and Nocturne's clear is so good, especially if he builds that Tiamat early and rushes the Ravenous Hydra. He's gonna be a menace within a few minutes of the game.
Yeah, I would love to see Ravenous Hydra first item on both of these junglers. What, you know, it's just
I don't-
broken.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I've been also hearing that Ravenous Hydra's even broken on ADCs.
Yeah, a lot of I don't think Trist or Sivir would go for it, but I know like ADCs like Vayne, I don't know how good it is, but the Vayne build I've heard rumors about is like Ravenous Hydra into Heartsteel. Oh,
Jeez. That sounds mortifying. That's the reason I permaban Vayne.
there you go. And plus all you play are tanks, so.
Yeah, and they're all HP tanks too. Although I need to play some Nunu because apparently Nunu's really good right now.
Yeah, Nunu's supposed to be strong, I heard.
Not as strong as Yuumi with Ravenous Hydra, but still pretty strong.
Yuumi with Ravenous Hydra, you heard it here first. Now, for the mid lane matchup with Vex and Syndra, I don't really know a ton about this matchup. Do you like?
I don't know too much about Syndra. All I know is she's an absolute pain to gank because of her E. But Vex should be able to win this just by farming up, and I know Vex is in a better state than Syndra at the moment. Vex is really powerful. So if Vex plays slow, farms up, and can land a good fear or two on Jarvan, on Nocturne's ganks, then she should be fine. Although Syndra just needs to hold her E and she can sustain. It's going to be a very passive lane, I think, because neither of them have great all-ins until they have ultis, and even then, they're going to wait for their junglers to set things up.
And in bot lane, I feel like again, like similar to jungle, very similar story. Fridge Raiders looking to scale up with Sivir Yuumi. to where Country Meat really needs to press the early game with this Tristana Vel'Koz.
Mhm. Although Tristana late game is still a menace. It's just her mid game where she feels pretty weak, all things considered.
Yeah, Tristana scales pretty well, but I just don't feel like she scales as much as like a Sivir does, especially when Sivir has that Yuumi as an enchanter.
Yeah. So, and Sivir into Nocturne seems like pretty solid, all things considered, because if Nocturne ults, Sivir can spell shield that big burst of damage he gets,
Hmm.
and that'll help out a ton. And if Yumi's got the speed boost for her, it's gonna be so hard for Nocturne to lock her down.
Absolutely. Now, I feel like both teams have pretty good team fight comps here. Although I do slightly favor Fridge Raiders team fighting, with
Mhm.
like Settle, Jarvan and Yuumi. As
Agreed.
my biggest problem with Garen, I love Garen. He's like one of the top laners I love to play. I actually have like M6 on him. Uh, he doesn't really provide a lot to a team.
He
Garen's
just
pretty.
is.
Yeah, he's just Garen.
And really, Garen is the entire front line for Meat here. And
Mhm.
so I think, again, team fights are going to be hard because they just don't have a real tank. Last game, all they had is a Wukong. This game, now, all they have is a Garen.
Yeah, and Jarvan gets to with how good Ravenous Hydra is, you get to just go Ravenous Hydra into full tank. So like he is gonna be that front line, and even said if we do see that Heartsteel build.
Mhm. And even if both them build Bruiser, they're still really tanky champions at the end of the day, compared to something like a Nocturne, which would be the next closest to a tank on their team.
Hmm. So I think we're both leaning the same way, but I feel like Fridge Raiders is most likely gonna take this game based off comps alone.
Yeah, I definitely favor them as far as draft goes. Although if Nocturne gets a bit of a lead and can snowball it, that probably is their hope. I think they need Nocturne to just get value out of every ult. But if he doesn't get value out of the first couple of them, I fear for their game state.
I am curious to see this Ravenous Hydra Nocturne though. Listen here, Ethan. Buy me Windows and I'll activate it.
So I'm at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
We are at the exact same time we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, T-Bry, that's all you're gonna be looking at now, huh?
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
What's funny is everyone else gets so bothered by it, and I
Are they going
I
to get
honestly
Yuumi?
barely notice it.
Oh, Yumi's trying to run.
30 seconds
Yuumi got 20 gold though. That's a win.
This just FF now. Gold lead too big. Team diff.
Now, while we're seeing them walk out, we do see a TP on each side in the top lane. We see Ignite both mid lanes. So pretty common summoners everywhere. What I do want to talk about is both junglers going Moss again. Is this like just the OP jungle item, or
Minions
what is it
Right
that
now,
they all just
like-
keep going the Moss Stomper?
it seems like everyone can just go Moss Stomper right now. I know it's been super common on tanks, but it's also for the junglers that used to go the tank item that was Sunfire Aegis. You used to get so much tenacity from that, and now you don't get any of it. Plus, both Jarvan and Nocturne are going to be pretty big on the front line this time around. So they got to make sure they can manage all the CC.
Yeah, so the tenacity is just really strong.
Yeah,
Basically what it comes down to.
like the shield does not feel very useful in my experience, at least. It's all about the tenacity.
Time to find a new friend.
Get a little zoomy out here. There we go. Speaking of zoomy, as we take a look at Yuumi, see what I did there? And we do see Jarvan doing exactly what I was saying. Pushing the early game, getting the level 2 gank. This is a very dead Garen. And first blood on to Shane 23.
Jarvan's just all over the map. Theater has just been everywhere. And we're just not seeing that from the Nocturne player, the big pig.
We see a solo kill, though, in the bot lane of the 2v2. Unfortunately, Synexus picks it up, as he is an independent cat. But, yeah, this is exactly like last game. Fridge Raiders kind of just winning all over the map again.
Oh, can Nocturne make something happen mid? If Vex gets a lead, that might be something worthwhile.
A good
Oh, they
flash by
forced the
Voice.
flash already.
Yeah, that means Syndra's very easy to gank now, especially with Nocturne 6.
Mhm.
So, one thing that we haven't gotten to talk about while we see a little scrap here in the top lane, this might actually lead to something. Set getting a bunch of damage off onto Garen.
Poor Garen, he's gonna have a rough game.
Jungle clears feel faster, but how do you feel the impact of not being able to kite camps has? Because I know it like basically took champions like Fiddlesticks out of the meta, but we're gonna see Tristana just step up and die to that beautiful lane gank from Theater Thug.
With the way the jungle clear changes are, like Zax's clear if you start red side has been slowed. Actually, even if you start blue side has been slowed, and now every champion kind of clears around that 20 to 25 mark, even non-junglers. And so it made it so clear speed and those champs with the strength of clear speed like Hecarim that's not a strength anymore. That's just you just clear at the same speed all the time for every champion. And so on one hand, you could argue that balances the jungle out a little more, makes it easier to balance, but now a good Zac could clear 30 seconds faster than a bad Zac. Now a good Zac clears maybe 5 seconds faster.
Without the W,
So-
I think Seth's gonna go
Ooh.
down here. He does.
He does.
P3 picks up a kill, but Jarvan is not gonna look there. And
He was just a little too late.
Does
Jarvan got there
Nocturne's-
a second or two sooner. He actually at least kills the Garen there and gets that lead.
Now, one thing I do want to like praise the big P3 here. He's gotten 2 flashes really early on. So while he
Yeah.
hasn't gotten the kills like Jarvan, he is being proactive.
Being about as proactive as he can with this champion pick. He's doing a good job at trying to keep this Jarvan under control. He's gotten he still has a kill. Well, Jarvan only has 1 extra assist, and he's gotten 3 more camps.
So
He's doing quite good right now. I'd say he's actually ahead of Jarvan.
he actually is ahead about 100 gold. So
Yeah.
we do see it's a 2,000 gold lead pretty much off this set and the Sivir, but we might see that go down a little bit as another gank is coming up top lane here. Set does have the W, but he gets silenced. Gets it off. Is he able to trade?
Did he get the kill? He does trade it. That set is big.
Oh, and this
Honestly,
is- ooh, really good flash by Vel'Koz.
I'd really like to see Jarvan putting more presence around this set. This set's been surviving and nearly winning 2v1s. If Jarvan's nearby enough to even just throw an E in before he dies, then Set might be able to just 2v1 them top lane.
Yeah, set is definitely a strong point.
Whatever.
And as we see it, both junglers have built Tiamat now.
Yeah, like we were talking about, Ravenous Hydra is so strong, both these junglers are going to rush it. I'm actually surprised it doesn't look like top lanes are rushing it at all. It looks like Set's actually going towards the fort. And Garen could still, he only has a pickaxe. We'll see about that.
The recurve bow from Set, I'm not sure what he is building into, honestly.
It's going to be Bork.
Oh yeah, Borks is still... Bork seems stronger than ever with how much HP is in the game. They removed so many resistances and just made HP. And now anything that does like percent HP is just too powerful. It's ridiculous.
Bork is strong, Hydra's strong. Turns out things that give you a lot of healing are good items. Oh no. This
What a
Tristana
shocker.
has no idea. She does hop away. Vel'Koz
Oh,
is
geez.
there, but...
Spell shield out from Sivir.
Yeah, I'd say that was beautiful.
The exhaust is slow. Double exhaust though.
Jarvan might just clean this kill up if Sivir cannot get it.
Oh.
The fail flash. Oh, that's so unfortunate for the Tristana.
I hate that. She was trying to run to the edge, accidentally clicked a little too far over and clicked over the wall, so it made her turn around, and she missed the flash because of it. The way pathing works sometimes just hurts. Although Nocturne's getting away with invades, because he saw Jarvan on the map while he was ready to go for it.
Yeah, he had the time there, and it looks like he's starting up Rift Herald here.
And he's going top lane.
He's gonna go top lane first. Set tries to get out, but he is feared, and it just goes down. So they're doing a really good job at preying on this Set's overextension.
Yeah, I really want to see this Jarvan start sitting closer to this Set. Because they're being so aggressive on him, going for so many plays. And if he's just there to counter gank, that puts him in such a good spot. It stops Nocturne from getting his lead any farther.
Really aggressive Sivir ult. They might look to dive this, actually. But they don't have the wave for it, so Jarvan's going to have to back off. Well, he might be looking for Vex here, waiting for Flag and Dragon Ball. But does just drop the Cataclysm. He gets feared, though.
Did she win that?
And both flash both ways. Does she take this
Oh,
in?
and he
she does take
dies.
this in, and that is the kill! Nocturne coming behind. Vex might be able to get some damage off here, but does go down to Void Shifter. And so all in
Big
all...
Vex got the shutdown, so she's got a little ahead. Although 2 Darksteel stacks on the Syndra is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. Oh my god, that poke damage onto Tristana. Yeah, Trist has to back here. This bot lane is not having a good time. Sivir's about double the CS of Tristana here. Oh, good knockup by Vel'Koz, though.
Oh?
He hit 6. But
Oh, barely survived. Does Nocturne get another kill?
Flash, but I think Nocturne can clean this one up. Oh, he does!
Oh, but
I
he
think
dies
he's gonna die
for it.
for it, though, yeah. But I mean,
I don't think
still...
that's worth it when you're 4 and when you were like had 4 and 1. He does get his Ravenous Hydra off of that, but
I think it's still worth because you get to deny the CS. Although if Vex, okay, Vex is able to just fear Jarvan away.
yeah, if Vex can crash this, then that'll be big. Force her to miss a wave.
Now we do see it. Looks like Garen is going towards probably the Stride Breaker like usual. And Set getting closer and closer to that fork.
Despite how much Set's been sat on, in the 1v1 with Garen, he still has a pretty big lead.
Oh, the big punch by Set to
Huge.
win that. That's very calculated by Shane.
Yeah, his shields even were able to tank the Garen ult with his W.
Now, we do see Syndra finish a Mythic here and go Crown. How do you feel about the Crown option? But we're going to have to hold that thought as we see a potential 3v2 down here. Jarvan is going to be here now. It's a big flag and drag onto Nocturne. And the Cataclysm just locks them all in.
Right there.
And we're at about another 5k gold lead now. As the
This
Vex
is tough for
gonna go
Nocturne.
down.
Nocturne he's ahead, but he has no lane to play around. Every lane is losing.
He's also just so squishy.
Yeah. Even with his Ravenous, if you just get blown up, it's not going to do anything for you.
Now, if you're on the side of Country Meat, how do you want to come back into this game?
For Country Meat, realistically, not only do they need to play around the Nocturne, but they need to be baiting the other side into isolating themselves. When you take these fair fights, when you can't do anything. If Jarvan's there, they will win any fair fight. You need to get numbers. You need to bait people around the map, and if they can do that, that will be enough for them to come back.
Okay. So you really want to play around getting picks with this Nocturne then?
Yeah, because I don't think there's a world where they ever win a fair fight. At least not in their current game state. 5k gold behind right now at 12 minutes. It's tough one to come back from.
Nocturne.
So right here, Jarvan's not around, so he might be able to. And he gets the fear off.
But Yuumi is able to just fight it out with Sivir. The big Vel'Koz
Oh, there
off
we
to pick
go.
up the kill. Set with the RKO, but Garen is able to flash away. And, you know, we're seeing some signs of life from Country Meat there.
And slowly but surely. Honestly, I was worried they were going to lose that 3v2. They were barely able to get that pick.
Yeah, it was a lot closer than you probably want it to be on the side of Country. The Nocturnal comes through on a
Oh,
cycle,
Jarvan's coming though.
and Set has
Big
so much
W.
sustain.
That Haymaker just ruined them.
And we do see
Hit 'em
he's
both.
going Heartsteel, because I assume that's what that.
Yeah. I doubt he's going Warmog second.
That'd
You
be
know?
spicy. Bork into Warmhogs.
Oh, it's genius.
Look at how fast he takes this tower.
Tower just gets melted.
Oh,
The set's pressure's just been so big.
a beautiful play from Void Shifter.
Killing spree.
Yeah, okay. Looking at this, Sivir you can't jump on with Nocturne because she has a spell shield. It's not going to go well for you. You can't really jump on Jarvan or Set because they're tanky, and Yumi's on somebody, so you can't jump on her either. So the only option for his ults consistently is going to be Syndra, and so she built Crown in order to stop that. Now Nocturne has a really hard time, and that he's their only win con.
Yeah, it's actually a really smart itemization now that you mention it, with Nocturne being the only real Fed member on the side of Country Meat. Ooh, Vel'Koz. Not in a good spot. He's just gonna get blown up. Tristana's gonna jump away. They're still chasing her down. She has
She
to
ults to
ult them
live.
to get away.
And does she get away? Oh, barely.
Now they're in an awkward
Although
position.
Nocturne comes in to clean it. And he is big enough to win this, I think.
Yeah, Nocturne. Oh,
Oh.
the return kill. But Nocturne's gonna get a double here. Maybe Yumi's trying to float away. But the flash from Nocturne to secure the
Did they make
kill.
it? Does he get her in
the
time?
big
The
stun!
Syndra!
I thought
coming
he
in
was
so
dead
big.
Right, and the Vex ult just missed. She's in such an awkward position. Can they land a stun? They do! And Jarvan comes down with the Catechism, trapping Garen in there now with him. Jarvan
This
might have been
Yumi's
off more than
just
he can see, but the
unkillable.
Flag and Drag gets out! And the
Oh.
Syndra Scatter the Weak leads into the set RKO! The Rock blocking them off! Void Shifter goes unstoppable! Garen does get the
700
shutdown on
shutdown.
Syndra, but then goes down. Wow, what a fight we just had there.
Nocturne says team gap in chat.
Oh no. When your most fed member says team gap, it's not looking good. He does.
Yeah, Nocturne ults the set and just loses. Like, this Nocturne can't fight the set, he can't fight the Jarvan. The only thing he can kill now is the bot lane.
I think this Nocturne's over tilted.
Yeah, I would be too, because Nocturne had a pretty good opening, and then just couldn't keep that lead going. Honestly, I don't think it's on him, though. I think his team just, all in all, got outclassed. He played that early game as well as he could have.
Now, I know Fridge Raiders is really ahead.
11k gold ahead, to be
Um,
more precise.
Jarvan has a Dirk, though. I think he's building a Lethality Mythic.
Lethality Jarvan, I don't remember what they did, but they buffed it. I don't know if it was preseason or a little before that, but they did buff for Lethality Jarvan.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, I normally go a tank item, but maybe Lethality's the spice here. And
Lethality, it's definitely not better than tank, but they're so ahead that he can just do it.
he can just do whatever he wants here. And as you see, he's going to try to dive a Garen. He's going to give over the shutdown, but the Garen's probably going to go down to Sivir here.
Age. Your bottom tower has fallen.
And Yumi's going to try to dive a Garen. He's going to give over the shutdown, but the Garen's probably going to go down to Sivir here. And Yumi's going to try to dive a Garen. He's going to give over the shutdown, but the Garen's probably going to go down to Sivir here.
I don't
Does
think
the-
Meat has the
oh, the
mental to
turret
get
kills?
anything with this. Oh, it wasn't. They didn't. No one got the shutdown though. It was an execute.
Aw. That set just gives this inhibitor the fists.
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
He was just giving it an aggressive hug. It's not his fault
12,000.
he's that strong.
We have a 12,000 gold lead at 17 minutes.
You know, I'd say if Meat can manage to get a tower, that's probably a win in their book.
Oh yeah, 'cause they didn't get a tower last game. Wait, hold on a minute. We actually see the TP coming in from
Maybe?
Garen.
Are they risking it, trying to just steal a Drake so the game can drag the game out a little longer?
Yeah,
Oh, the
but-
Garen
but
is
Jarvan's
in,
here now.
and Nocturne's not even around.
Oh,
This
they're actually
Nocturne's done.
just gonna look to blow them up with that Eclipse on Jarvan now. The shutdown goes in. Vex does get the fear on Jarvan. The Nocturnal comes in. The Yuumi healing is doing a lot of work though. And it is a 2 for 5 ace on the side of Fridge Raiders. They'll pick up this third Mountain Dragon as their reward, question mark?
It looks like they collected enough gold that they're keeping only the 12k gold gap. So 2 kills was worth all 5 of their deaths.
Work. Set finishes. Oh no.
Just don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah. Pay no attention to the randomness that happens. Right. We need to get that bug fixed. That's not very good for spectating.
Even Yuumi has nearly a 2k gold lead on Vel'Koz. Even just Yuumi. That's how ahead they are.
Yeah, this is not fun to play through on the side of Country League. As Syndra just does not blow up Vel'Koz.
Honestly,
But-
early on, I thought Meat had a chance, but then I don't even know. There's no decisive moment where it went wrong. I think it was just the whole game went wrong. You know?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think what it comes down to is Nocturne didn't play around the right lane, which is similar to what we've seen in Game 1. I feel like.
Hey, I feel like Nocturne playing around that top lane wasn't at least a terrible idea. Although, that being said, Garen's never gonna win them the game, so you might have a point there. I think he should have put more priority mid lane, considering how good of a state Vex was in. If he could have gotten Vex an even bigger lead, it could have been at least them two being in a good state rather than just Nocturne. I think if he focuses more on mid lane there, the game turns out at least potentially better than it did.
But I believe we're gonna see the Nexus fall here, and I'm thinking for MVP, I really think we have to give it to Theater Thug. I think he just put a shellacking in the jungle this
Yeah. Theater was definitely the MVP. I'd say Synexus was a close second, but
Yeah, I mean, he played Yuumi game 2 though, so can you really give a Yuumi an MVP?
fair enough. I think if Yuumi ever gets MVP, it should be the ADC that they're sitting on that gets the true MVP award, you know?
And this is, this is rough. But a beautiful,
Oh, Tristani does go down.
beautiful showing, I would say, from Refrigerators.
Yeah. And was this their first series? Or first match this season?
No, this was week 3 for them.
Hmm.
Just because of holidays and stuff, I haven't really
Yeah.
been able to get on yet. So if I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can get Theater Thug in here. Let's Let's go ahead and see what we can't do. But yeah, while we do wait to see if we can get him or someone from Fridge Raiders for an interview, I do want to take the moment to thank everyone who tuned in. And
What up?
Hey, there is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Theater Thug.
Yeah, that's me.
How you feeling after the series?
You know, I mean, kind of easy games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Be
for
like
sure.
that.
You put on a showing though, especially in that Sejuani game, out damaging everyone but your Victor. So, how?
Yeah. So,
Oh, go ahead.
go on.
How do you feel when you perform on these champions, and what is it about like these champions that notoriously don't really do a ton of damage that you're able to get this output on?
I will get this output on any champion in the game. I could play Orianna jungle. It don't matter. Everyone talking about how I'm a Vi one trick, and they ban Vi every single game. It does not matter. Nobody can stop me in this league. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Woohoo! I like the confidence. I like the confidence. So, you are coming from a team that did make it pretty well last season, formerly 404. How does it feel?
I was actually not on that team.
Right. I was referring to like you playing now with Synexus and Void Shifter from that team.
Yeah.
How does it feel like coming into like this environment with like a couple new players, and how's the team really been jiving so far?
This environment's awesome. Our first team environment was absolutely horrible. Worked just about as poorly together as it is possible to work together. We disbanded after the first split, and I didn't play the second split because it was such a bad experience. So Synexus reached out to me to join this team, and I was, trying to feel out the vibes or whatever. But yeah, we all 5 of the players on our team are good. I think we're all 5 are the best in our role in the league, and so that does help with the morale a little bit. But still, it's a vibe. I like them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you have any questions for him, Sai?
I'm sorry?
I was asking Sai if he had any questions for you.
Oh.
So, what was it like to just live your life under the enemy turrets on Sejuani?
That I'm not gonna lie, I felt like that was a little bit of cyberbullying. I actually did feel guilty about that. But I mean, you know, dog eat dog. You got to do what you got to do.
So, as a Sedge player myself, it was a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah. Also, in game 2, at the end of game 1, they cried about us not giving them Nocturne because their jungler's like a Nocturne one trick. So I was like, all right, like we gave them Nocturne, covered the Nocturne bans just for fun. We gave them Nocturne, and they banned Vi anyway. So and they banned Sejuani. Whatever, dude.
I'd be terrified of it too after your first game performance.
Yeah, I guess I don't blame him.
So anything you want to say to chat? Anyone you want to shout out? Anything you want to say to the stream before we call it for the night?
I'm not trying to get kicked out of the league. I think my teammates know some of the stuff that I could say. Some of the people I could shout out. Not gonna do it. GG's, y'all.
All right, GG's, man. Thank you. Thank you for the great interview, and we look forward to watching more of your play throughout the season.
Word, brother. Deuces.
All right. On that note, that is going to be the end of our stream. Once again, I do want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank both the teams for allowing us to do this. I want to thank my lovely co-host, Sai, as always. And if you are watching, make sure to give us a like, a subscribe, comment along in the videos if you happen to be watching after the fact, and keep an eye out for more streams, because hopefully I'll be able to do some more of these. And as preseason and new season starts up, I'll be trying to stream a little bit more, especially once Misfits starts back up again.